All right, let's dive into an idea that sounds a little crazy at first. The thought that the very thing so many of us are chasing, a high salary, can actually end up being a trap.
So let me just ask you this straight up. You know that salary number you have in your head? The one that means I've finally made it? Well, what if I told you that getting there might not bring the freedom you're expecting? What if, and just hear me out, it could actually do the complete opposite?
You see, it all starts with what we could call the six-figure dream. And it's a really powerful idea, right? It motivates millions of us.
And at the heart of that dream is this simple, powerful promise that we're all sold. More money equals more freedom. You know, the freedom to travel, to buy a home, to quit that job you can't stand, to just not worry about bills anymore. This is the fundamental promise that fuels our careers.
But, and here's the twist, for a lot of people who actually achieve that dream, a very strange reality starts to set in. They discover something called the golden handcuffs. Now, this is the real paradox, isn't it? You would think a bigger paycheck means less stress. But you hear these stories all the time. People earning great money often feel more stuck, more anxious, and more chained to their desks than ever before. So what in the world is going on here?
Well, this brings us to the official term. The golden handcuffs is that situation where your lifestyle becomes so expensive, so completely dependent on that big salary, that leaving your job feels impossible, even if you're miserable. The handcuffs are golden, sure, because they're made of a high income, but at the end of the day, they are still handcuffs.
So, how do we put these handcuffs on ourselves, often without even realizing we're doing it? It comes down to a really sneaky psychological trap, the inflation trap.
The engine that drives this whole thing is lifestyle inflation. I mean, think about it for a second. When you get a raise, you don't just put all the extra cash in savings, do you? No. You get a slightly nicer car, maybe you move to a better apartment, you start eating at fancier restaurants, and before you know it, those luxuries, they don't feel like luxuries anymore. They just feel normal. Your new higher cost of living becomes your new baseline. And this is the cycle it creates, this vicious loop. You earn more money, so you upgrade your life. Then you get used to that new, more comfortable normal really quickly. And suddenly, you need that higher salary just to maintain the lifestyle you now consider standard. Then, the whole cycle just repeats itself with the next promotion.
So you're basically building a very real cage around yourself, piece by piece, bar by bar.
And here is the absolute crux of the problem. It's not just that your spending goes up with your income. The real trap is that your obligations, your fixed, long-term costs, often go up even faster. And that's the thing that just eats away at your flexibility and your freedom.
And these right here, these are the bars of the cage. We're not talking about buying a few extra coffees. We're talking about a 30-year mortgage on a bigger house, a 5-year loan on a luxury car, ongoing private school fees. These are multi-year commitments that lock you in and demand that high salary, month after month, year after year.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the emotional reality of this whole thing. It's that feeling that with every single step forward in your career, you're actually taking a step back from the very autonomy you thought you were earning.
So all of this really forces us to kind of step back and reevaluate our goals, and to ask a really fundamental question. What does financial freedom actually look like?
So if there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. True freedom isn't found in the number at the top of your paycheck. It's found in the gap between what you earn and what you need to spend. It's about having low obligations and high savings, because that's what gives you options. The option to change careers, to start a business, or maybe just to take a year off.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If you got a massive raise tomorrow, an absolutely life-changing amount of money, what would you do? Would you use it to double your freedom, or would you just build yourself a bigger, more luxurious cage?